Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. Let's just react to this incredible speech that President Trump gave the other night, and just see just how much we can fact check it. All right, let's do this.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess.
Stop. Actually, we are seconds into this video, and we have our first one. 11 months ago was the closing hours of Biden's administration. And while we know the Biden administration wasn't perfect, things were looking up at that time. Inflation was about 3%, right around where it should be, and the economy was growing. GDP was boosting. Employment rate was pretty good, pretty solid. So, not quite a mess.
And I'm fixing it.
Oh boy, here we go again. No. By what metric are you fixing it? If you mean by increasing unemployment, making prices higher, providing for more national security threats with our invasion of Venezuela or whatever is going on there. If that's what you mean by fixing it, you're doing a great job.
When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years.
Wrong again. No. Inflation was like 3%. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Definitely not the worst in 48 years. In fact, it was much worse in the 70s and 80s.
And some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability.
Pretty sure the word affordability wasn't invented in the 2020s, but what do I know?
Our border was open, and because of
there's no such thing as an open border. This is a big, strong talking point from the right, but an open border would emphasize that there was no restrictions on the border, which just simply isn't the case. So there was border security during the Biden administration, so it wasn't an open border. But go ahead, Don.
our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from...
I hate that I have to stop it again. It wasn't 25 million people. It was somewhere to the tune of 2. But close.
Prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is...
If you're a murderer, you 100% killed one person. Actually, most of the immigrants who came into our country are not criminals. In fact, immigrants are almost 4 times less likely to commit a crime than a natural-born U.S. citizen. So this talking point by the right that all immigrants are criminals is just not true.
Is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again.
There's nothing wrong with immigration. In fact, immigration is good for our country, both economically and culturally. They boost our GDP, they provide for more jobs, and they overall boost our culture as well, providing more customs and food and that sort of thing. And, America has always been a melting pot of cultures, and it will continue to be that way. So I don't know what Don's rambling on about right now, but let's just let him continue.
We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely...
Oh my gosh. Crime wasn't at record levels during the Biden administration. But they can just keep saying it. It's not going to change anything. But right now with Donald Trump's implementation of the National Guard in American cities, it's not a long-term solution to crime, even though the numbers may be down. It's just not a long-term solution. A long-term solution to crime is, however, making the economy better. So if, Donald Trump wants to actually focus on making the economy better for the average American, maybe, crime would decrease. But If he's just focusing on the ultra wealthy, perhaps not.
Forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Oh, no, they are not.
Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Donald Trump himself does an even better job than Saturday Night Live does. I'm just going to say it. Continue, Don.
There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree.
There has never been anything like it. I will agree.
Elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years.
And yet, the American dream is less and less attainable with you as our president, Mr. Trump. Especially when you give tax cuts to billionaires and make the rest of us pay taxes via tariffs. So, yeah, thanks.
The United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America.
The only person decimating our hard-earned savings is you, when you continue to implement tariffs on the goods that we need to buy to stay alive. So, yeah.
They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make...
If by law-abiding, you mean the insurrectionists from January 6th that you pardoned after they beat up cops and stormed the Capitol, then yeah, they're law-abiding.
This nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president.
I'm sorry. I hate pausing it this much, but there's just so many lies. So I'll just laugh and let that one slide.
We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly...
Okay, never mind. For God's sakes, our southern border was not the worst border in the world. I'm sure we can find an example where that is not true. But just another blatant lie, but, eat it up, MAGA.
We turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before.
Oh, I was just going to finish a sentence. Levels never seen before.
And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so...
First of all, to fix the drug problem in the United States, we actually have to do something about the consumer demand of drugs in the United States. Blowing up the boats in the Caribbean is, first, illegal, but also not going to fix the problem.
Proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down.
Ocean and by sea? Those sound like the same thing, but I'm not Donald Trump.
94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states, where education belongs. After
I don't know about that one, because I don't think education in Texas is where it should belong. I don't think that we should have the Bible being taught in schools like they do in Texas. Just something about that screams pseudoscience to me, but oh well.
To rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed...
8 wars? I don't know about that. Take India, Pakistan, for example. Both sides said Donald Trump has nothing to do with it. Take Israel and Gaza, for example, which I think he's going to talk about that here in a second and spew more lies. But regardless, that war is still ongoing. Israel has broken the ceasefire agreement. Most of these wars that he has settled are in fact ongoing and actually had nothing to do with him. So he's just taking credit for things he didn't do. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Yeah.
The Iran nuclear threat and ended the war in Gaza.
I forgot to mention Iran. First of all, you didn't obliterate the Iranian nuclear facilities. In fact, most nuclear scientists agree that they'll be back and operational within 2 months, which is not good for you, Don. So yeah, bombings didn't seem to take care of it. And also, if you would have just kept the deal that Obama made with the Iranians, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. So great job cleaning up your own turd.
Bringing, for the first time in 3,000 years, peace to the Middle East and secured the...
Once again, the war in Gaza is still ongoing, so not so very peaceful, is it, Donald Trump?
The release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin.
Wrong again. Prices are rising, manufacturing jobs are decreasing, and overall things are looking pretty grim. Now, you might point to the recent drop in gas prices. That is just seasonal differences and has nothing to do with Trump's policy. I'm not trolling, I'm being serious. It has nothing to do with what Trump has implemented. It's just seasonal differences. We see this every winter. Yeah, so the economy is not looking so well, Don, no matter how many times you say so.
The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at level.
The Biden administration actually had nothing to do with inflation. The inflation was global. And, yeah, they passed no policies that led to that inflation. But they did have the fastest recovery from that inflation out of all countries in the G7. So, not so bad to me.
Never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
About as fast as you said you'd end the Russia-Ukraine the Russia-Ukraine war, right, Don? Oh, boy, I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to explain this one to you guys. You know this is untrue. Everybody knows it. In fact, the only people who don't know it seem to be Donald Trump, and some of his most loyal followers. But yeah.
Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%, airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they're all coming down and coming down fast.
I'm just going to ignore the blatant lies that he just said, and instead, let's talk about the continued focus on the Biden administration. Why is it that every time Donald Trump goes to the mic, he has to say something bad about the former administration? Probably because he wants to deflect from his own problems. And honestly, they're probably much worse than the Biden administration because the Biden administration didn't even cause most of their own problems. So I get kind of sick of hearing Donald Trump talk endlessly about how great of a victory it was during the 2024 election and how bad the Biden administration was. Can't we just focus on the present right now and stop deflecting to problems of the past? But I don't know. I'm not the president. Go ahead, Don.
Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price
about as fast as you said you'd solve the Russia-Ukraine war, right?
Of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden.
Wrong again. Thanksgiving was more expensive this year than last. Every metric shows it. In fact, Walmart had to decrease the portion size of their Thanksgiving meal, and yet it was still expensive. So, great job, Don.
Last year, the price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by
Not true. The Biden administration had pretty decent wage growth.
$1,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300.
If factory workers in America weren't losing their jobs, maybe that'd be true, but unfortunately manufacturing jobs in the U.S. are on the decline.
For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first...
Coal is neither clean nor beautiful. In fact, it contributes a lot to climate change. But we don't believe in that, do we? No, climate change is a hoax, a Democratic hoax. Anyway, continue, please.
Time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. Wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people...
Wait, did he just admit that inflation's going up? Oh no, self-cooked. He got self-cooked.
Working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great.
Wait a second. If you want to make a country powerful, don't you have to make the government powerful? I don't know. I'm not Donald Trump, and I don't have dementia, but I could be wrong.
This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States.
No. He has definitely not secured $18 trillion of investment. Fact check me if you want, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
Which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
As I mentioned before, manufacturing jobs are on the decline. As for national security, I don't think anyone is happy about the Qatari Air Base being implemented on U.S. soil. I don't know, but, maybe if they gave me a $400 million jet, I'd be happy about it.
Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs.
My favorite word, tariffs. Look at his face. What is going on there? Anyway, tariffs are bad for the American consumer. It is a tax on an imported good, which saying it's passed down to the American consumer, making inflation rise for us average Joes. It's just not a good deal. And the stimulus checks that Trump's giving to people is just basically the money he's already taken from them, just giving it back. So again, way to clean up your own turd, Don.
Favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us.
Okay, so let's talk about these other countries. You hear so much about how they're taking advantage of us, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they have implemented tariffs against us, I agree. But they're only to a certain extent. And what we have done is laid blanket tariffs. For example, perhaps, let's say, France placed a tariff on American steel. Instead of us placing a retaliatory tariff on French steel, we place a blanket tariff on everything coming from France, thus driving up, regular costs for everyday items.
Not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen.
Levels never seen before.
AI automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our
I can totally agree with that. There's never been anything like it.
country was dead. We were absolutely dead.
No, we're actually growing pretty steadily. GDP, wage growth, inflation was coming down. You know, the Biden administration passed some pretty great legislature, the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, the American Rescue Plan, things like that were gonna, make America great again. But here comes Don to ruin it all.
Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over
It's said by the leaders like the people from Qatar who gave you a $400 million jet.
the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history.
Tax cuts for who? Mr. Trump? Is it for the American working class, or is it for Elon Musk and his buddies?
That were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress.
Did you say the most weeping legislation in American history? I would agree.
We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on...
All right, let's set the record straight. No tax on tips is a good thing, but it was a bipartisan thing. Democrats agreed with the no tax on tips thing.
On overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
That is just blatantly not true. There will be tax on Social Security. And in fact, millions of Americans are going to lose their access to health care and to Social Security because of Trump.
Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks
Where did you get this money, Don? Was it from tariffs?
are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill
Oh, yes, from tariffs. I knew it.
helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%.
I'm no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure if you cut prices by 100%, you get the item for free. And if you cut them by 500%, they pay you to buy their product. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have dementia. Go ahead, Don.
In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward, and I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago.
I cannot stress this enough. The foreign countries do not pay the tariffs. We pay the tariffs as American consumers.
There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible.
That's a new one. Never conceived possible. I thought he was going to say numbers never seen before, but bigger and better vocabulary. I have the best words.
It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current
I don't know about this one, but let's keep watching.
Affordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost.
Is that why you cut it with no replacement?
And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded.
Oh my God. The increase in premiums is because you cut some of the stimulus that's supposed to help with those premiums.
By the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the unaffordable.
I cut the health care, but it's the Democrats' fault. I did it, but it's their fault somehow.
Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many.
Oh boy. First of all, climate change is not a hoax. No matter how many times you say it, it will not change. Yeah, green energy is a good thing. Burning fossil fuels is not. I think we probably have a pretty good grip on that.
Billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels.
Oh my gosh. Energy prices increase when we do not diversify the market. If we have multiple streams in which we get our energy from, solar, wind, a little bit of fossil fuels, the price of energy will come down.
Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon, and in much of the country, in some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have...
Again, these decreasing gas prices have nothing to do with you, Don. They have nothing to do with any of your policies. In fact, before this, seasonal decline in which we see every year, your gas prices were actually increasing from this time last year. So, yeah.
Opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody.
Yep, because everyone thinks climate change is real. You are the only one who does not.
Or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking, and I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone...
First of all, he is just so unbelievably insufferable. Oh my God, I cannot even stand listening to him. I had to force myself to sit in this seat and make this video. Good Lord.
Someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion.
Okay, let's talk about the border invasion and all the immigrants that came in. Okay, first of all, immigrants do not take jobs, they make new jobs. When the economy grows because of, more people coming in and adding more supply to the economy grows, and that creates more jobs. Because we have more people building houses, we have more houses to live in, not less houses. Good Lord.
Never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms getting free
Again, they do not take jobs, they make new ones.
health care and education paid for by you, the American.
Oh my God. Illegal immigrants do not qualify for health care.
American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the
We have a new one again! Numbers so high they're not even to be mentioned. Wow. I have the best words.
first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home.
Reverse migration as people leave the country because it's such a crap hole.
Leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat
Aren't you a 34-count felon, bud, and adjudicated rapist?
the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation.
How many billions of dollars has your net worth increased during this presidency?
Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast
First of all, the Somali population is not in a position of power in Minnesota, so I'm not sure how they could have committed fraud.
majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation has stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country.
Let's talk about the America being respected thing, because I've mentioned basically everything else he just lied about. Nobody on the foreign stage respects you, Donald Trump. In fact, there was a study done during the 2024 election that suggested that Kamala Harris was much more respected than Donald Trump by foreign diplomats and such to engage in the right decisions regarding foreign policy. So no one really respects you. Vladimir Putin sure doesn't. He's been taking advantage of you for your entire presidency. But yeah, keep lying about it. It's okay.
Country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen.
There it is.
Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of
I wonder if he's going to get another FIFA Peace Prize at the World Cup. That'd be cool. I love that FIFA Peace Prize. It's so cute.
which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the
Anniversary? Dementia.
Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
I mean, wow, that was just a complete disaster. Um, yeah, so thanks for going through this with me. I guess this was fun. I don't know. It kind of gave me a headache, and I probably have to, sleep this one off. But anyway, please continue to fact check Donald Trump and everything he says and that which the Republicans say. Yeah, thanks for going through this with me, and do subscribe.